What's up, guys? It's Friday. Welcome to the Monk and Lou Happy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Lou Betya, joined as always by MonkMMATics, and live from Las Vegas, one of my dear friends, Zaid. Tell the people what you are doing in Las Vegas right now. And he's gone.
I think we're just on a delay, maybe.
Hello, Zaid. You there?
Hello.
Live television. Oh, there we go.
Zaid, you hear us? So we're just gonna leave his face up there.
I'm
and
sorry,
he'll show
I'm
up.
crashing.
There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, dude? How's Vegas treating you?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. So Zaid is in Vegas. He's enjoying his life. He's coming on for 3 guest bets. So we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna get to the 3 fights he wants to do. Monk, take us away.
Yes, sir, Zaid. Thank you so much for joining us. We will not keep you long, but we definitely value your opinion. Let's get into the 3 big fights you wanted to discuss. Jalen Turner, Brad Riddell first. What are your feelings on that? You see any line value on either side or any props you like?
Yes, first of all, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Ready to roll for this weekend. I'm pumped for tomorrow, and just let's go. Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner, our first fight. I like Brad Riddell a lot in this fight, and I saw open, I think, at around a pick'em, if I'm not mistaken. And right now, you could get Brad Riddell at some spots at around plus 130. People think, because of the range and the length that Jalen Turner have, that Riddell's going to have all these problems. I don't see that happening, to be honest with you. This is a guy that trains at City Kickboxing. He spars with Israel Adesanya. He spars with Alexander Volkanovsky. He's sparring with the best of the best fighters, and all these guys are in camp together. Being that they're all in camp together, the gym is pumping. They're rolling through. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's ready to go. I think City Kickboxing sweeps this weekend. I love Brad Riddell at plus money. You get him at plus 130. And I think the line should be around minus 140, minus 130, Brad Riddell. Jalen Turner, don't get me wrong, is on a streak, and he is fighting well. But I think Brad Riddell, you look at his last loss, Rafael Fiziev, he's a bad motherfucker, And Brad Riddell's a guy that can counter strike. I think he's able to maybe put a lot of leg kicks into Jalen Turner. Those long legs, a couple leg kicks, who knows, Overall, his striking, he's had 59 kickboxing victories. This guy's on the feet is just phenomenal. And he has so much experience and so much, I think, durability, even though he got finished in his last fight. But that spinning kick would have knocked anybody out. I'd still be sleeping right now from that spinning kick. I like Brad Riddell a lot in this fight as an underdog.
All right.
I love it. We will keep it moving because there is a lot going on behind you, and you do not want to miss out. So, again, we appreciate it, Zaid. Thank you so much. Second fight we'll get to, Sean O'Malley, Pedro Munoz. Leave it to Zaid to pick, 3 great fights. This is the second one we're going to discuss. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, this is a very, very big fight. I see it playing out in a variety of ways. I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah, huge fight this weekend. Is he filming there? My bad.
Oh, you're good.
Are you running into like Booger Beard or something? What's going on out there?
Here's Jamal Hill right here.
No way.
Oh shit.
Jamal Hill, guys, on the happy hour. It counts. It counts.
Just a little preview.
That looks incredible.
Dan Levy had him, but we had him also.
So there's a lot going on around. My apologies.
Keep showing fighters. We're taking credit for it.
We got Glover sitting on the side. We got Kevin Holland on the other side. We got Yanni the Greek, Nikolakis doing shows. All right. That's it. I'll cut that out. Even though we're live.
Yeah, cut that out. No.
So Sean O'Malley this weekend. He's got steam to minus 350. I saw minus 300 the other day. Now I see him. He's minus 350. I don't know if it went back down. I like Sean O'Malley, don't get me wrong, but I think if you're going to bet him, you bet him at plus 175 by decision. Pedro Munoz is a fighter that's never been finished in his career, okay? So why are we going to bet on an O'Malley knockout when Munoz has never been finished? This guy is durable. It's a 3-round fight. I don't think he gets caught, and I think Munoz is underrated. And at minus 350, I might even take a stab on Munoz here. I mean, he could leg kick him. We saw O'Malley get leg kicked in the past, and his leg goes calf kicked. I like if you're betting O'Malley that you bet O'Malley at a decision, and I locked it in for 1 unit at plus 175. I'm not sure what it's at right now.
I'm on the same bet. I'm on the same bet.
Love it.
I'm on the same exact play there.
Absolutely love
Same
that. Yeah,
exact play?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Like you said, Pedro's super durable, and I don't think he's ready to go down without a fight. So we will keep it moving. Last fight, we will get out of you here. The co-main event. Some people say the people's main event. Alexander Volkanovsky taking on Max Holloway for the featherweight title. Who do you like in this one?
So believe it or not, this is, man, like you said, the people's main event. I absolutely love this fight. I think there's a lot more animosity rolling up in between the fight. I went to the press conference yesterday. Press conference was heated. Sean Strickland stole the show yesterday. He's a guy I didn't like at all, but I mean, I can't deny what he did was really funny. He won that. It was 10-8 Sean Strickland, and he put himself in position to get a title shot, which is smart marketing by Sean Strickland right there. Okay, now this fight, Holloway and Volkanovsky, you saw them going back and forth in the presser. Holloway said this fight's not going to go past 3 rounds. I tend to agree with him. Both fighters are frustrated, okay? We've had the first 2 fights, razor close decisions, fans on one side saying Holloway won, fans on the other side saying Volkanovsky won. Me personally, I gave Volkanovsky both fights. I mean, I don't know if people agree, people don't agree.
I did too.
You did too? 100%. I mean, I think when you watch it closer, like I rewatched it about 2 times.
3, 4, and 5 last fight. I thought he had 3, 4, and 5, no doubt.
Yes, I 100% agree. That's exactly how I had it. Now, I think Holloway, in order to win this fight, is going to have to pressure Volkanovsky. Keep him out of the kicking range. Get into boxing range with him and just throw down. And Holloway and Volkanovsky, we saw Holloway get hit a lot recently against Yair Rodriguez. He won the fight, don't get me wrong, but damage.
Close. And it was tight. Very tight fight.
Yeah. And we saw all the damage he mentioned at the press conference. Oh, I take damage. This guy doesn't deliver damage. I think Volkanovsky is going to deliver some fucking damage this weekend. I'll tell you that right now. Volkanovsky looked like amazing against the Korean Zombie. He's evolving. Ground game's good. He's a huge threat on the feet. His power, I think, is stronger than a Yair Rodriguez boxing-wise, and I think he could take him out early in the 2nd or 3rd round. Overall, my best bet for this is going to be under 4.5 rounds for the fight plus 200.
That's bold. That's a bold pick, dude.
I actually love it. I love it. I'm with you 100%. I like the Volk. I like Volk with some fire, man. I don't know. I just have this feeling we're going to see a finish here, and I like the Volk side. So I'm with you, Zaid 100%.
Zaid, you got anything you want to plug before we let you go?
No, I just thank you for having me, guys. MMA Engine, you guys are the best. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Zaid_Hussein.
His TikTok game.
I love
his
you
TikTok
guys.
game kills it. Yo, his TikTok game kills it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
His
You
TikTok
guys
game
are
is
the best,
funny.
man. I can't wait to do this again when I'm at home and not all this craziness going around. I'm sorry.
For sure. Well, enjoy your time. Thank you for giving us a few minutes and have a blast in Vegas, Zaid. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, boys.
There you have it, Lou. We got a big dog dropping in for about 10 minutes in the chat, giving some really good picks, in my opinion. I might disagree with him on the first one, but I like the angle he's playing. But the other 2, we see eye to eye. What did you think about those picks?
Well, the important thing here is I didn't realize how genius this was that now we can say we had Jamal Hill on the show.
I mean, we did. Everyone saw it.
I think I'll get Ben Davis to come on like half an hour. I'd be like, Ben, just walk around with your fucking camera on, like show everybody and be like, look at all the guests we had. So let me cover this. Let me cover the 3 fights we did. And like guys in chat, we're going to kind of go like, we're going a little bit out of order today. If you guys want us to cover a fight from a betting and DFS perspective, drop it in the chat. That'll be the next one we do. We'll just go until we ain't got no more to go.
There you go.
And hopefully nobody asks us to cover Stoliarenko and JRC.
Yeah,
but who knows?
Yeah, please.
So for me on this one, Riddell Turner, I'm against Zaid on this one. I'm on the Turner side. I'm going to say this right now. It feels trappish. It does. 1,000,000%. I put out a tweet earlier in the week that I'm either going to go 8-1 or I'm going to get clobbered. And I feel like I know this doesn't make any sense. I feel like because I'm on Turner and I'm on Duplessis and I'm taking like all the bait on certain fights, it's like I feel like it's a clean sweep or like I'm going to get smashed. So, but in this case, so he brought up the Riddell, ton of stand-up experience, tough dude. I don't hold the Fiziev fight against him. I mean, like, that's an elite level striker. What he's not bringing up here is a Turner, yeah, I mean, Brock Weaver's whatever he is, like, whatever. But Malarkey's a badass, man. And I by the way, I had Malarkey in that fight. I'm an idiot. I just like Jamie Malarkey a lot, man. Like, Jamie, by God, Malarkey.
Yeah.
So the thing with Turner is every time we've seen him these last couple of fights, he's exponentially leveling up.
Yep.
So, excuse me, my mouth had things. So he's leveling up every single time we see him. He's adding a lot of wrinkles to his game. The one thing I'm liking about Turner now, he really is using takedowns effectively. He's great on the ground. And it's not just he's hunting for like one kind of submission. He's punching, he's working the arms, he's looking for chokes. Like, this dude's diverse and he's learning at a real fast level. And if he doesn't like how it's going on the feet the first minute or two, I don't see why he can't get him to the ground. So I've been on Turner in the distance. I got him at like 170 earlier in the week in the distance. And I like his sub prop at I think it's plus 700 on FanDuel. I got it at plus 600 on BetMGM. It's about 600 everywhere but FanDuel. FanDuel is always coming in with like these absurd numbers for props, which I love. Wish I was using it, but I think the sub's very live. Like, I'm not sure he knocks Riddell out, or unless it's like a ground and pound, but I think that sub's super live here. What do you think, Monk?
I agree 100%. And as far as DraftKings goes, there's really only one side you can play. You play the Jalen Turner in GPP tournaments. He's one of the best scorers on the card, 4.2 points a minute, 115 when he wins. He's only 200 over his average salary. In Riddell, I mean, you could play him in cash, but you better think he's going to win. You know, that's kind of a guaranteed win, lineup that you're going for there. And I don't think you can do that with Brad Riddell. He only scores 80 points when he wins. It's just very low scoring numbers. He did actually make the optimal lineup, I believe. Let's see, it would have been 2 fights ago against Drew Dober when he scored almost 100 points. So there must have been some, actually he was an underdog at 7,700. So that helped him make the optimal lineup. But again, did not put up triple digits. In fact, he has not put up triple digits at all in the UFC. So I like the Turner side, just like Lou said. As if you're betting money lines, I think you'd probably have to go with Riddell, but I like the sub opportunity here. And I definitely like the volume and DraftKings upside from Turner, who has made the optimal in both of his previous 2 fights. Go ahead.
I just want to give you a different look here. If you do like the Riddell side, his decision prop is about aggregate about plus 340, plus 350. If you like Riddell to just be patient and keep this on the feet, Riddell is not some like legendary finisher, but if you think he can win minutes on the feet, that plus 350 for his decision is a great way to play it. I think I'm just taking the bait, man. I'm taking the bait with Turner here, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah. Same here.
By the way, if I lose my first 2 bets of the day, guys, if you're tailing any of my bets, and God forbid, like I'm on a nice winning streak the last 6 weeks, it will end at some point. If you're tailing me this week and my first 2 picks lose, look, if I have to lose money, that's one thing, but I want all y'all to win money. So if I lose my first 2 bets, fade me. Fade the rest of my picks, the rest of that night, and then you'll wait for my tweets. It's just like, oof, like 1 and 9. Ugh. And then hopefully everybody's like, yeah, but we won. I'm like, good. Then at least I did something right. Like fade train in effect.
Exactly. So you'll have to pay attention to Twitter on Saturday once these prelims start off. The second fight we discussed with our guy Zaid was the Sean O'Malley Pedro Munoz fight. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I really like Sean O'Malley as far as DraftKings, 4.41 points a minute, 104 when he wins. Some of the top scores on the entire card. Doesn't even give up 2 points a minute. And he's only coming in 250 over his average, made the optimal in 2 out of his last 3 fights. Now, the issue here is, as far as why I'm not going to just put him in every single lineup, Pedro Munoz has fantastic DraftKings defense. He's been beaten 7 times in the UFC, averaging only 81 is what he gives up in those losses. So he's not, he's given up, 3 fights over 90 is what he's given up, never triple digits. So I like the Sean O'Malley side. I'm going to be playing it because maybe he'll be the first one to finish Munoz. And if he is, I like the optimal chances here because he is such a high volume guy. But if this goes to decision, I mean, every minute that ticks off the clock, my DraftKings stock in O'Malley is, is going to be going down. So I'm hoping he can get it done. But even in a decision, I mean, against, Chris Mutini, almost a decision, 150 points, late finish of Almeida, he scored 100. Early finish of Paiva, he scored 115. So I just think Munoz obviously much better than all those guys. But I do like O'Malley to win, and I do like him in GPPs. Just put a cap on it in case it goes to decision. What do you like for this one?
I don't like what I've seen from Munoz the last couple of fights. I think he's a little slower. I think the volume's coming down a little bit. I mean, like, he looked pretty good in the Jimmy Rivera fight, like with the leg kicks, but he's getting hit a lot in that. And Rivera's a tough dude. I mean,
Right.
A lot of dudes would have like, he might have won TKO by leg kicks in that. I mean, he was brutalizing him. Here's my problem. And it's again, it feels like a trappy thing to bet, but I can't get around the 10-inch reach. I don't know how Munoz is going to get the leg kicks off. And look, man, everybody's like, well, I mean, all you have to do is kick O'Malley and like, he has broken legs. It's like, well, I mean, it's not that easy. Like, he's fought 16 times. Like,
and that hasn't happened in a few fights, right?
I mean, like the Chito Vera thing was like a fluke accident. And the Sukumentov fight, he should have lost that. Sukumentov fought like an idiot. If he stood him up, he would have won the fight.
I mean, that was the most insane. Yeah, talk about low IQ, fight IQ.
But the fact of the matter is, O'Malley, he switched stances really well. Like, and he's added that to his game. He's really good at it. He's good at staying away. He's good at sniping. And honestly, I mean, I'm on the decision prop here myself. I think it's just going to be 15 minutes of target practice. And you may even see, it's rare that we see 10-8 rounds where nobody gets dropped. I think there's not that I'm betting this, but I'm saying is there's a potential for a 10-8 round. Like him just like 80-2 in strikes. Like I don't have the judging up in front of me, but some of those Matinho rounds had to be 10-8.
Oh, had to be.
And Glenn, I don't think so. Like that's the whole. I just don't think so. I think he's just going to be smart. And look, honestly, if this thing's 2018 after 2 rounds, O'Malley's not the kind of guy. I don't think he's not rushing in for KOs here. I think
he wants
smart.
to, but he's not gonna throw a fight away.
You know what's more important than a KO? You know what's more important than a KO?
The win.
Winning on the main card of a pay-per-view is more important. That's what gets you up, dude. He's already he's not a guy
against the top 10 guy.
Does he really need look? If he has like 9 fights in a row that are boring decisions, that's one thing. He doesn't need a highlight reel KO here to like get more cred. He's already on Dana's radar. He wins this one. He's going to get paid, new contract, and he's going to start getting more high profile guys. And he's never going to be off the main card of an event again. So to him, look, he comes off as kind of whatever. I think the dude's smarter than anybody gives him credit for. He's going to dominate the first 2 rounds. I ain't saying he's going to coast the third, but he won't put himself in any harm's way. And I do think he's really defensively responsible in the boxing era. If Munoz can get some leg kicks going early, you could live bet it, I guess. But I just think O'Malley's way too much. And Munoz is on the decline. Look, he's one of my favorite dudes. He's made me money in the past. It's a bad spot for him. And more importantly, the UFC knows this is a bad spot for him. That's why they made this matchup. This is a highlight fight for Sean O'Malley.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not, it's a highlight fight for him.
Yep. And you talk about leveling up. I believe you talked about that with Jalen Turner. Sean is a guy that does the exact same thing every single time in between his fights. When he comes out the next time, he looks more and more improved, especially in the stand-up, obviously. But even his calmness, his demeanor, everything. I mean, if this was me, my anxiety would be through the roof with all of this attention. I mean, he's sleeping in a hotel across from, a billboard with his face on it. He drives a purple Lamborghini. I would be freaking out. So the calmness and demeanor this guy shows is really admirable for the most part. Last fight that we talked about with our guy Zaid. Again, thank you so much for coming on, making some time for us. The Coco main event, as I said earlier, the people's main event, Alexander Volkanovsky, Max Holloway. In my opinion, you should switch the top two fights around. This should be the headliner. What do you think about this one? Are you on the same side as Zaid?
I am, and I'll take it one step further. I like Volk by KO here.
Love it. I do too.
Last night on Liam's show, by the way, if you guys haven't seen that, that was awesome to run it back with the boys. Here's my problem. So last night I said, if you're just playing a numbers game, Holloway decision at +3 something which I think is his winning condition. I don't think Holloway can knock Volk out. Volk's a tough dude, man. And this is no knock on Holloway. Volk is like otherworldly. I'll never get over the image of his head turning purple. Like, the dude is like, what do you have to do to finish him? And Holloway's not a, I mean, Holloway is a volume, like his finishes are volume based. Like, could he do that? Maybe. I mean, like, you know, look, Holloway is one of the greatest of all time. Could he? Sure. But Volkanovsky is another guy. We're just seeing improvements from him every single time out.
Yep.
The dude is just improving. I mean, what is he? 15 fights in his career. I mean, this dude's like young into his career still. He's only getting better. And so not only do I think Volk is going to eventually get him out of there, because I agree, if he gets a decisive victory, he can just completely move on from this. There will be no controversy. He's just going to end the series. I think he wins. And I think in the next year, he is fighting either Oliveira or Makhachev at 155 for the title. Because Dana White has already said, like, he has no problem with him moving up. I think he puts this to bed. He's got nothing left. Because what's he going to do? Like, no knock on Josh Emmett. But, like, does he really need to take any more fights in this division? Like, he hasn't cleared it out. But, like,
pretty much.
I think it's time. I think it would be time for him to, like, Cater's not going to get a title shot soon.
Nope.
I'm sure I'm missing, like, a name or two here. But, like, and if Holloway had gotten the nod in the last fight, we're probably looking at even money. If I had to guess, I would think it would be about even, because the fights. Well, it depends. If Holloway wanted to sit like a wire, like a close decision, probably even money, I would imagine. But when you look at this number, it's like your first glance is like, wow, this is wide. And then you do a little more analysis, and you're like, it's wide. But if you want to look at, like, Volk got knocked down once, but all the like the majority of the damage, the pace was Volk, and it was Volk as the fight went on, especially in that last fight. So I think they're looking at that as the reason the line is so wide. And they're also looking at it because Holloway took a little more, like a lot more damage than usual against Yair Rodriguez. Like, I know they had that like 49-46. I mean, I'm not making an argument that Yair should have won, but I had him win in 2 rounds. I mean, there were a couple of rounds there that were like, Yair did some serious damage to him where you saw Holloway fighting on the ground more than usual. And if this fight goes to the ground, I don't like Holloway's odds. I don't want Volk on top of me, dude. That dude's an animal, man. Super athletic. You know, I'll add one more thing to this, and then we can move on. I really like, you know, look, I'm a computer guy. I'm into technology and whatever. This whole Holloway training by Zoom thing, and like Sean O'Malley just made a comment. You could do a whole camp on an Oculus. Look, and maybe you can. Maybe I'm like thinking too narrow and too old school here. But for me, I think there's something to be said for, like, putting in the hard work. And it's not like a knock on Holloway. Like, I know he works hard. But there's something to be said for, like, getting on the mats. I mean, Volkanovsky, you know, like Zayd said, look who he's training with, dude. Look at the killers he's in the gym with every day. Like, you're improving every day by fighting the dudes at City Kickboxing. Like, Holloway's not fighting anybody, like, remotely close to that. He's not fighting anybody. But, I mean... So I think Volkanovsky's only going to improve. I think this is the last we see of him at 145. I
agree. And like you were alluding to, Yair did land more volume against Holloway than Volkanovsky in either one of those 2 fights.
That's an interesting look too, by the way. If Max gets the first round, I wonder if Volk will even be Volk could be still a slight favorite there, but it's weird. Like, he did say you could do a whole camp on the Oculus. I was like, okay, that's a really bizarre. I'm like, that's a really bizarre thing. But you know what? Look, man, 5 years from now, when we're celebrating our 900th happy hour and my hair looks like yours, is it possible that, like, a lot of people are going to start doing that? I mean, we don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, without trying to sound like too much of a boomer, like, I can't imagine it. But
now, look, for you guys in chat. For you guys in chat, I remember when you could go out with a lady on the town and get a nice steak dinner for a nickel. You can fill up your tank for 10 cents, take her out to the movies, have a great time. Everybody's doing the Charleston back then. Prohibition was in effect, so nobody could go out and get the booze.
It's true.
Is this old time? Then we went to the apothecary. Is this old timey doing it for you? No? All right, let's move on.
I love it, honestly. I like those old radio shows, the old timey radio shows they play on Sirius XM. I'm such a fucking weirdo.
I sure hope not. I sure hope not, Uncertainty. I sure hope not. But could I see it? you know, could these guys be fighting like? Could this be like Volk Holloway 12? Like in a
God,
few
I hope
years?
not. I don't like to see. I mean, this one, I guess I don't mind, but like I think this one's even going to end even wider. I like what you said. The last one was 3-2 Volk. I agree. The first one, in my opinion, probably 4-1 Volk. You could go 3-2. I guess I don't mind Holloway 3-2, but I personally, for me, Volk has won both fights, and it's pretty easy to see that in my opinion, but I know that's meaningless. But as far as DraftKings go, this is a must-play fight. I'm probably playing. I'm probably playing 100% of this one, 2-1 Volk. You know the drill. These guys throw a ton. I think I'm with Lou. Someone's getting finished, and I think Volk's going to do the finishing, so I like him more. I'm actually going to stay away from the stack this week because I do think Holloway gets finished. Yeah, I'm back on the don't stack train. So what's the secret? You gotta shampoo it. You gotta use a hair dryer. So check it. I'm a bald guy, but I own a hair dryer for the first time in my life. I've been shaving the beard or doing the beard. You gotta air dry it. You gotta brush it so it lays straight, and you gotta use beard oil. That's my only trick. A little bit of beard oil here and there, so you smell nice as well. Other than that, man, that's about it. Just brush it. That's all you got to do. It's like it's Marsha Brady, to date myself again. It's like just give it 1,000 good strokes. The beard, give it 1,000 good strokes. Next fight, Lou, where should we go from here? As I said, I love the Volkanovsky side. I'll be a ton on that fight. Not playing it for cash, maybe Volkan cash, but you know what? Let's knock out this main event here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go, Prince. I want to see that beard. I want to see that. I'm getting the grays, but I'm going to let it come through, man. I want to be, I want to look like Crashmore here. Maybe a little Santa Claus someday. I want that. The Gorton's Fisherman. That's what I want to do. Yellow slicker, yellow hat, all white beard, selling you fish patties. There we go. As far as this one, I'll keep it quick. Adesanya Cannonier. I will be fading the Adesanya side. Huge 9,400. Like I said on the Pub Sports Show, I don't think he should be more than 86 if you pay attention to his stats. He doesn't score. Cannonier, I like the Cannonier side. He doesn't score well either. In fact, worse than Adesanya, 3 points better per win, but only 90. However, I think I'll be higher on the Cannonier side. Obviously, the salary. I'm not playing either one in cash. Maybe Adesanya, but at 9,400, like, what are you doing? Go play Andre Muniz or somebody that's cheaper. Cannonier, give me the Cannonier side. And I was telling Lou before this, everybody's like, oh, can you imagine Izzy going against Pereira after this? Oh, could you imagine Izzy and Sean Strickland after this? Well, what happens if Cannonier comes out here and knocks Israel the fuck out? Now chat can make clown face emojis and crying, laughing emojis, all that stuff. But I'm serious. What if it happens? This fight is insane. Israel Adesanya minus 500. He shouldn't be minus 500 against anyone, especially how he's fought in his last 3 fights. Much closer than you would expect. In fact, if you go by ass whoop index, 0 is an even fight. Adesanya minus 1.56 against Whitaker, meaning Whitaker out statisticked him in that fight. Vettori minus 3 against Vettori, meaning he lost that one as well, and super close against the very exciting Yoel Romero fight. I know all of that data is meaningless. I'm just to say Israel fights have been much closer in these past few than we are used to. So give me the Cannonier side, and I'm sprinkling Cannonier by knockout. I don't give a actually. I'm gonna do what Lou is about to tell you to do because that's a much better look. Lou, how are you betting this fight?
So I'm betting fight to end by KO. I got it at plus 110.
There it is.
The reason for me is there's 3 outcomes in this fight for me. There's Cannonier by KO because I don't see a decision path. There's Adesanya by decision, and there's Adesanya by KO if he decides to go back to the way we know he can fight. So Cannonier, I don't have to get on the Cannonier analysis. Like, we know what he brings, and I think his cardio is pretty good. Like, I think he carries his power late too. So like, he's still live like round 3, round 4, round 5. Like, it's going to come down to damage. It won't come down to cardio. But is Adesanya really like? So the thing is he going to pour on damage? Well, what I like about the Adesanya side and the KO perspective is he's been calling for this fight for a while. I'm forgetting who he beat. I think it might have been. I feel like it wasn't the Whitaker fight. It might have been after.
Before Whitaker was Hermanson. His last 5 are Brunson, Gastelum, Whitaker, Hermanson, and then Silva.
So he was asked, he said, if Jared Cannonier wins, like, he should get a title shot. And like, it's weird for the champion to like nicely, politely want this opponent which tells me he knows it's just a stylistic nightmare.
Yep.
I mean, until Adesanya like proves that he can't compete at this division, I can't bet against him. The money line is it's not even a parlay piece at this point. It's barely a parlay piece. So if you like him, I'm telling you right now, the 3 outcomes for me, 2 of them are the one guy ends in KO. I think at plus 110, that's great. If you want to play fight doesn't go at minus 110 and lose a little bit of value, I guess, but are we really going to see a sub here? I mean, if we see BetMGM wants me to get a sub because they're trying to get me to bet Cannoneer by fucking Omoplata or whatever bullshit props they're doing. Cannoneer by Twister. Okay, sure.
Plus 10,000? Sure.
Y'all are bored. And this is what happens. When BetMGM doesn't get their goddamn props up until Thursday, their automated systems well, what props are in our system? And all they had was the main event. So it's all this fucking bullshit.
And then a list of submissions, apparently.
Now,
that no one ever hits.
Now, if Adesanya gets an Unamari roll and fucking gets a heel hook, I quit, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
A calamari roll. Shout out to Booger Beard.
Has Jared ever gotten a sub?
No. Actually, yes. 2 in his professional career, 2.
Yeah, but when's the last one is
I don't have the dates.
The last one is W. Bush was the president, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And he doesn't attempt them. And look, Cannoneer, even last fight when when Brunson was on the ground with him, he was just trying to get up. He wasn't trying to screw around on the ground. Credit to Cannoneer. Credit to Cannoneer because that's a 10-8. He was 10-8 in that first round. And that dude came back. Brunson tired out, but Cannoneer, his cardio is deceptively good, especially for how big he is, man.
Because you see all the muscle mass, you think he's just going to gas out.
Could sub? Yes, but I'm playing the odds here that he probably won't. And look, honestly, if there's finish equity here, 98%, 99% is the KO. Could weird stuff happen? Could we get a double DQ? I mean, I'd lose my bet, but I'd probably crack up.
I think there's an Israel titty joke in there, the double D.
I will tell you this right now. If Israel wins by sub, I'll give somebody in chat $50 next week.
There you go. And this is not a Dylan Dennis thing.
But
Lou's not going to post pictures of fake money.
No, I'll post rolls of quarters. I don't give a shit. But I'll give away $50. But more importantly, I will not do a shoey. This will have nothing to do because after yesterday, I'm not betting a goddamn shoey. If you haven't seen, just go watch the first 2 minutes of the bet elevator yesterday. It's all you need to watch that show. The show didn't get better. That set the tone for what a mess that whole show was. That thing just wrecked me. It was such a disaster.
Hey, it happens. They're called shoeys.
Let's move on.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Hit that like. Hit that sub. Let's do Strickland. I agree. That's what I was going to go into next. I love this fight. Probably my second or third most looked forward to fight on the card. Probably behind Volk and behind Jalen Turner. Sean Strickland. I like the Strickland side. I like the Strickland by decision side. But for DraftKings, and of course I messed up my thing, so I got to click this again. For DraftKings, I also like Strickland for cash, Pereira for GPPs. It seems pretty easy how to play this. If Pereira wins, it's probably going to be by knockout. Granted, we have not seen that. Actually, yes, we have. Strickland has been KO'd in the UFC, TKO'd, I should say. But that's the way I'm going to be playing this. Pereira, 3.66 points a minute, but needs a finish to score well. He's only averaging 87 so far in his 2-fight UFC career. Strickland does score a little less per minute, but over 3 and 93 when he wins. So I think this is simple. Strickland coming in 600 under his average. Play him a little bit in GPPs. Play Pereira in GPPs for sure. Strickland in GPPs in case, we do get that sub that some people are on. But I like Strickland for cash here. I think I'm playing the experience for this. And until Alex Pereira has to show me why I should roster him if he's not going to score more than 87 points. So I'll be on the Strickland side for cash, Pereira GPPs. What do you got as far as lines for this one? Are you on the Sean Strickland sub like everybody else?
I'm on the Sean Strickland side. I want to mention a very interesting bet, and I may give this away on the Lambo show today. So how can this fight end? I don't think Strickland gets a KO. I think if he gets in the distance, I do believe the sub's live for how we think the fight's going to play out. I do think he'll go to the grappling. Strickland's not out to prove some point, stand on the feet the whole time, But that being said, I don't think it's that such a competitive disadvantage for him on the feet either. He knows how to make fights ugly. He can get it against the cage and kind of dirty box. Where he's going to be in trouble is at kicking range. But he's smart enough to close the distance. So, like, Pereira's still limited in his career. He has been subbed, by the way, in 2015. I did have to recheck that. Like,
yep.
But what is the sub the most likely path? So I feel like if this goes to decision, and I don't like, it's very viable. This goes to like a decision. The problem I have here is that these judges fucking hate Strickland style, man. Like, I didn't think the Hermanson fight was a split, but they just don't like his style. And like, you have a dude who should be winning minutes in Strickland versus a moment winner in Pereira. So I'm going to get a little goose with this one. I'm going to have a little bit of equity on the sub, but I'm going to bet Sean Strickland by split decision at plus 1,000.
Ooh.
Interestingly enough, the line is so close. Pereira's split decision is a plus 1,600. So they clearly don't think he can win in that scenario.
Right.
And I think we might get some really, if it goes to the judges, we're going to get some really screwy, like 29-28, 28-29, 30-27 for Strickland. and that like plus it. So look, if I take that in the sub prop, I'm getting about 5-1 on him for what I think are like the two viable outcomes. Now look, if he goes and he wins at 30-27, all right, so be it. But like, we're trying to make money here. Like, the point of the show is like to give a little different angle on it. Like, again, I don't see him getting a knockout. So could he win by sub? Yeah. Could he win by greasy split? 1,000,000%. So I'm on those two props. I don't know if I'm going to pad one more than the other. I may just try to balance it that I have either or.
Yeah, I like that read. I agree with both of the paths to finish, or paths for fight to end, rather. Strickland, I mean, just you have to play the experience here. 28 pro fights to 6 for Pereira. Granted, that last one with Bruno Silva did go the distance, so we did get to learn a lot about him. But what I learned is he kind of slowed down towards the end there and did not score a ton of DraftKings points. So I'm right with you, Lou, in that one. Let's keep it moving. We'll just go down the list here. This is actually another one. I shouldn't have said 2 or 3 fights I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to more than half this card, I think. And this is another one. Ruthless Robbie Lawler going against Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Alliterative names on both sides, which I really respect. What have you got for this one? Are you going with the 40-year-old vet Robbie Lawler who never gives up? Are you going with the coveralls and no shirt Brian Barberena?
This is a tough one that we talked about last night. So I won't be betting this fight. Now, I think the side is Barberena, but I think the side is Barberena because he's the plus money. I think this is the kind of fight, whoever the plus money was, is the side, because it should probably be minus 110 each, if I'm being honest.
Not yet, Prince.
I think Lawler is, look, the body of work is better. I don't think he's going to go to any kind of ground game. I mean, he could, but he doesn't tend to do that. And also, he's got some knee issues too. I think I don't think he wants to have to play that game. And Barberena, man, I mean, like, man, he look at some of his wins against like Anthony Ivy, and like he almost came back against Jason Witt. Like, fine.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I think Barberena's the side. I'm just a really big Lawler fan, and this is one that I'm okay. I'm going to sit it out. I'm going to root for Lawler. And this might be his last fight. I mean, if Lawler, especially if this is either a knockout or a lopsided decision, I don't know what matchups really left for him. So I'm just going to root for him. The side is Barberena, but if a lot of steam comes in on Barberena tomorrow and you can get Lawler at look, man, I just think you take the plus money here, and what I think is just a super close fight. You got to give me the younger, more active guy at plus money.
Same.
Even though it kind of breaks my heart.
Yep, I agree completely. I'll be on the Barberena side as well. Not betting that. I think, if you'll just bear with me, I think Computer Monk has a bet on this one. The only fight it thinks is going to end inside the distance, or rather with any value on it, is this fight. So Computer Monk picking this fight to finish inside the distance. Obviously, if I'm playing it, that means I think it's going to be Barberena by finish. And at 7,700, that is a fantastic salary to play, the best underdog salary to play, and top 3 or 4 overall salaries to play. Plus, you're pairing that with a possible Barberena finish. I will take that every time. So I'll have a bunch of Barberena, probably a bit of Lawler. But yeah, as far as betting it, I won't be on either of the money lines here. I'm just going to try to enjoy this one. No matter who takes it. I like both these guys. Obviously, I like Lawler, like most people probably. No disrespect to Barberena, but Lawler's been around, since basically all of us have been watching the UFC. So it is going to be a bit tough to see him lose if that's what happens. But
I know one person
it'll be
older than Lawler.
Oh yeah?
Me. I'm older than Lawler.
Oh, come on. You're not a day over 40 years, 3 months, 11 days.
You were fucking age shaming me to that fucking
No.
bro.
I was not.
Oh, hey,
Not
MMA
me.
Twitter. How old is everybody? You know what I see the next day? You're younger than Lou Betya. I'm like, oh, younger than Lou Betya. Fuck you, buddy. I think there's only one UFC fighter older than me on the roster.
Ooh, trivia time.
No, that's not gonna. It's the boa constrictor. Is the only.
Oh yeah.
Boa constrictor is. But fun fact, I have a rare show tonight where I will not only not be the oldest person, I won't even be the second oldest person.
Oh shit! Well, there
and
you
then
go.
And then I'm like a million years older than Brady. And one day, if you're listening, Bert, one of these days, we're doing a show together, my brother.
I would love to see that.
Bert is the succession plan of the MMA engine, guys. It's like when Monk, Weezy, and I are too old to do this, Brady gets the company, and then Brady will pass it on to Bert. And I'll be dead by that point. It don't mean anything to me, but I will die happy knowing that Bert controls the company. And this isn't trolling, man. I love his content. In 3 years, when you fight those Fight Night pick guys, we are going to buy the rights to that fight. We got you, bro.
Hell yeah. Live exclusively on the MMA Engine streaming network, which will surely exist by then. Let's keep it moving. We've gone about halfway through the fights. Jim Miller going against Cowboy Cerrone. Kind of somewhat on short notice for Jim Miller. Cerrone, obviously, I guess he's gone. I don't know what he's doing for training camp, but he's had to do 3 of them in the past 6 weeks, I guess. This fight is at welterweight, though, so he's not cutting again to 155. I'll keep this one short. I don't know what to do about this fight for DraftKings. Jim Miller's way too expensive at 8,700. Donald Cerrone, I don't think is going to win. So really, I don't know what to do. I'm not playing either one in cash. I'll probably just play a little bit in GPPs of both sides because I do think someone is going to get finished in this one. Surprisingly, Miller has made the optimal in 2 out of his past 3 fights. Both of those knockout TKO wins over the Ghost Pepper and Nicholas Mata, I believe. So Miller did pay off his salary against Ghost Pepper. He was also 8,700, scored 103 points, made the optimal. So I'm going to have to put him on some GPP lineups here because I think he does beat Cerrone and hopefully finishes him. From my DraftKings point, I'm not trying to see Cerrone out here getting killed. But, who knows? These guys are 39 and 38, almost 39 years old. Anything could happen. I'm personally kind of counting out Donald Cerrone, so that makes me question my own play. I should probably play him, put him in some GPPs in case he, is not out of the game as I think he is. So how do you see this one? Do you think Cerrone has any chance here, or do you think I'm being crazy by counting him out completely?
Miller KO. Let's move on.
There we go. That's all I needed to hear.
I'm sick of talking about this fight with Couch Warrior. I'm sick of hearing I'm just putting it this way. I get that every fight's different. I get it, but everybody was on Lozon last week, and I get that he had underdog pricing. I understand it. But it wasn't just the people who were on Lozon. They're Lozon's going to win in round 1.
Yeah.
So the opponent's been
Miller's
upgraded.
Right.
The opponent's been upgraded massively. Cerrone didn't become more durable in the last week. Did he have to cut as much weight? No, but he still went through 2 weight cuts in 6 weeks.
Yep.
There's a narrative issue. Do I really know how much he cares? Look, this isn't that a legend of the sport? I am not taking away from his accomplishments. And could he get on the Wayback Machine tomorrow? Could. But Miller to me, he's always in shape. He cares. And Miller's looking at UFC 300 when he's 40.
Yes.
I just love this spot for Miller. You can give me all you want about Cerrone's takedown defense. That's great because he's going to get bonked. He's going to get bonked in the first.
For sure. What do you think about this before we move on?
I would, if you can play fight doesn't start the 3rd, I'd play that instead, or they're in 2.5. Look, we were talking about the Lozon fight. It was going to be Lozon round 1 or Cerrone round 2. Now, I don't know if I like Cerrone round 2 here, but Miller round 2 is certainly live. This whole he has 4 minutes of cardio thing is kind of overblown. he has like 8 to 9 minutes of cardio. I mean, last 2 fights he won in the second round. Now look, Mata, I think Mata, yeah, good. Is Mata markedly worse than Cerrone is right now? Like, obviously, like in a video game, like, no, Cerrone kills him, but like Mata's like an up and coming young guy, like that had never been knocked out, I don't believe. And Ghost Pepper is kind of a bum. He's kind of like, I don't know if he's UFC caliber, but still, I mean, what's Miller supposed to do? He knocks out the guy he's supposed to knock out. I think just Cerrone's so hittable that like,
Agreed.
And this is sad, but like Miller all day. I tried to bet my hair against Couch Warrior and he won't. So he thinks it's a bad bet because he's like, well, I got more hair than you, Lou. And I'm like, yeah, but this might be the last hair I ever have in my life, man. It's a pretty fair.
That's a huge difference.
I mean, that's stakes, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, if I shave it, the difference is if I shave it, it might not come back.
Yeah, you know what he was telling me yesterday? This is now the fights, but you guys want to hear something? Like, I am just can't believe this. If Mike's watching, he can verify this, but like, he's telling me he went to like an Orthodox high school, and he's like, I couldn't smoke weed in high school, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, they hair tested us. I'm like, what?
They hair tested children?
Hair tested high school kids for weed, man. That's
Is that
wild.
legal?
I don't know, man. It's a private school. I guess they do whatever the fuck they want. But like, I went to like goddamn Quaker hippie school where I think they like you get a joint. You roll into school. They're like, here's your joint for like first period. I'm like, awesome.
I went to
like we're calling
Omaha North High School. If they kicked out everyone for smoking weed, our 3,000 kids would have been about 6.
Like my high school was so weirdly terrible that I was the baseball captain. Like that's how bad we were. That's how weird my school was. Is that somebody put me in charge of a baseball team for like 3 years. So yeah, I have to.
There you go. That'll raise the stakes.
I don't gotta wax it off. It probably ain't grown back, man. Like, look, man, I ain't got that much to begin with, but like I just cut it. But you know, but I cut it so that the grays aren't there. It's strategic.
You gotta accept them. You gotta accept the gray. Embrace the grays.
Look, man, I've been to Silver Fox for like 5-6 years. I mean, like,
that's true.
I just don't care. Whatever, man. Look,
I was serious about that Gorton's Fisherman thing. I want a full white beard. Let's go.
I think
that shit looks awesome.
I know I'm handsome because in real life, like all my buddies are like just very unattractive dudes, and this is by design, man.
Exactly.
This is by design. They're like, wow, that dude's, or like people are like, how old are you? I'm like 6'5". They're like, really? I'm like,
you look great.
For 65, I look fucking amazing, dude.
Exactly. Let's get into I don't know what to think about this fight. Ian Gary, Gabe Green. What are your hot takes on this one?
I'll make this one quick because I have a bet on Gabe Green. I have buyer's remorse.
Okay.
The more I look at it, the more I feel like Gabe Green is really just, I tried to do the hair by hair. I feel like Gabe Green is really the same style of opponent as Weeks and Jordan Williams was.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I just think he's better. I think he's better.
Okay.
But I think it's the same style of opponent. But for
yeah, goat comment. That's fantastic.
So it's funny. It's funny that Papa Chuck's saying the draw. That's kind of a fun prop here. I don't hate it because I think Gabe Green getting a 10-8 is live. But the pick here I have is I like the fight to end in round 3 at 7-1. The reason I like it is I can really see Gary being up 2 rounds very easily. Green doesn't move his head well. He's there to get hit. I think Gary can just box him up. I'm talking with Weezy, and like I didn't really want to believe this, but like, and Weezy didn't sell me on it, but he kind of got my head moving that like, could Gary actually go to takedowns here? He could. We haven't seen him do it at this level, but he could. And his cardio is pretty good. He's fought some 5-rounders. The thing is Gabe Green, while tough to get out of there, it's not impossible to get him out of there. And I think that Gabe Green is going to be down 2-0 and will have to go for it. He's going to either come out reckless abandon and just smash Gary like he's never seen before in his life, or he is going to be wide open to getting cracked over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think someone goes down in the third. I love the plus 700. And then you don't have to, I love these kind of bets because like I'm betting a fight script. I'm betting a dude being up 2-0, but it doesn't have to work out that way. It could be 1-1 and Gabe Green could have a huge advantage in terms of energy. Like there's a lot of variables to this fight. I think there's going to be a time to fade Gary. I don't think it's yet. But if Papa Chuck is liking that draw and you guys think Green can hit that 10-8, if Green does have a 10-8, it's almost assuredly going to be the third when he just seems to have a boundless energy. I mean, he could do it in the first, but like the fight script that I have in my head, would be Gary round 1, Gary round 2. Third round goes to Green at 10-8. The draw, like if you're going to play a draw, this is probably the one because, guys, I got bad news for you.
Probably.
I ain't got a Yambags play on this card.
Tier.
Now I may by the time I look, I'm going on Lambo, and I swear I will not do this because I know Narco probably does not want me to say
this is a setup now, so now you have to do it. You said you're not going to do it so many times, so now you have
I'll
to
probably when I put my bets out tomorrow, I'll probably be like, all right, fuck it. Like,
I'll say something like good sweet potatoes or something
honestly, maybe we'll do the people's bag. I'll do like a poll, and I'll be like, which of these fights do you like for the Yam Bag special? And have like an option. It's like F yourself, and that'll win with 92% of the vote.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna play this for DraftKings. Probably heavier on Green because of the salary relief. 7,400 has made the optimal. Gary coming off of a win where he scored 61 points. Ouch. Did score 109 against Jordan Williams. So what's the real Ian Gary? Are we looking at in the middle somewhere around 90 points? If that's the case, he's not going to make the optimal at $8,800. So I'll probably be on Gary for cash, Green on GPPs. But I do like the volume of Gabe Green. 3.8 strikes or points rather per minute, 98 when he wins. Does give up a ton, like Lou alluded to. Also, he gets hit a ton, like Lou alluded to. 6.61 strikes a minute in his 3 fights in the UFC. So yeah, hoping for a Gabe Green strong late comeback here. But I like the Gabe Green side at 7,400. Even if he scores 80, 90 points, you might have a chance. You'll get some cash game if you're playing him in cash. That'll be decent for cash. But even at GPP, 90 points for 7,400, that is definitely something, right in line with Gabe Green's average value of 10.5. So give me the Gabe Green side. Ian Gary, another fight. I say this week after week, a guy I'm going to have to, see it from to, see something more than 61 points worth before I start putting him in a ton of GPP lineups against guys who I think are pretty talented, like Gabe Green. So moving on, this is another one that everybody is on both sides of. Brad to Milkbag special. Brad Tavares going against Dricus du Plessis. I'll start this one off, Lou. I'm personally on the Duplessis side. I don't think you can play Tavares in cash in GPP, especially at 8,200. Guy scores 2.2 points a minute, 71 when he wins. That's it, and that's over 14 wins. When he loses, though, he's getting finished, only giving up 2.3 points a minute, but 104 per loss. I don't like anything about the Tavares stats here. In 5 of 6 losses, he's given up over 93 of those losses, over 100. Dricus du Plessis, I don't have to tell you a ton about him. Powerful, 5.82 points a minute, 109 when he wins, and he's coming in 300 under his average salary. I think du Plessis finishes this fight. I think Brad Tavares is tough, but I also think he likes to take damage. And du Plessis can score from absolutely anywhere. So if this goes to the ground, I think it's du Plessis. If this stays on the feet, I think it's du Plessis. And I think he gets the finish for a decent score. And at 8,000, we could be talking optimal lineup here, which he has made in his last fight. What do you got on this one? Any props jumping out at you?
Yeah.
Because I doubt you're taking it straight up. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's not as wide as I thought it would be.
No, I'm not taking it straight up because, this is another moment winner versus minute winner fight. I mean,
Yep.
Tavares could be winning until he's not. So much like the Turner fight, I'm taking the bait here. I'm taking du Plessis. The problem I have here is, like, again, I feel like it's a trap, but like I see people on the sub prop. I know Couch Warrior saw some wild ass line on Bet Online. He got the du Plessis sub at plus 2,000. So like,
what?
Yeah, they had a mistyping and then like they fixed it, but it's still pretty. I mean, it's down to like plus 650 on BetMGM. Here's the problem. I don't know how he gets to sub. Like, I get that you see the plus 2,000 for a guy that has a lot of submissions in his history. I understand that. Like,
Sure.
I don't have a problem at plus 2,000. The problem I have is Tavares' takedown defense is so good that I feel like this fight's standing, and I feel like the fight's standing. It's volume Tavares, and then a power shot from du Plessis is what you're looking for. If this thing does hit the ground, like, it's because du Plessis just cracked them. So Club and Sub kind of live. I just played him in the distance. There wasn't really like a much difference between the KO and in the distance. So I just played on distance. I'll take the 15-cent hit that they gave me from the difference. But yeah, I mean, Glenn, you're not on an island with Brad. Like, and this is what makes me worried. Like, there's a lot of dudes that I respect in this community. Like I think Levy's on him. I think Luke is on him.
Oh, a lot of good guys are on him.
Stargarian's on him. Like, I think Cody Saftik's on him. Like, Paul Shagg's on him. There's a lot of prominent dudes that are on him, and it really makes me worried. But like, I don't know if you guys bet NFL, but like, there's times I see a line and like, I know I shouldn't bet it, but like, I just can't get past I can't get past the eye test of like, this team's probably going to buy a lot and they end up winning by 3. And then I'm like, I knew it. And I kind of feel like I'm doing it here. So I'm treading really lightly with this one, but I do have a bet on him in the distance. I do have a bet on him round 2. I just think it might take him a little bit to get the reads. And he's kind of weirdly awkward in the first round. Like, Duplessis is kind of like, he's weird just getting his timing. And Tavares is like a better striker than he's ever faced. So it may take a little bit, but I think by round 2, he just gets him out of here. And by the way, I only know DDP to me is only Diamond Dallas Page. So, but yes, could he be the Tayfon? I mean, Tayfon is the reason I had to do a goddamn. I had to do a goddamn shoey because it's a fawn last week, so I sure should hope he's not. But Monk, let's breeze through these last ones because a couple of these are like
let's do it. Absolutely. We're about in an hour anyway, so right on schedule. Guys, again, thank you for joining us. Thanks for spending your Friday evening with us. We know you're hungry, you want to go eat. Hit that like first, hit that sub on the MMA Engine channel. And let's get into this one. I'll go ahead and start off Uriah Hall, Andre Muniz. The only play I like for DraftKings in this one is going to be the Muniz side. I expect him to win inside the distance. I love this spot for cash. I don't even mind it for GPPs, but I think this play is heavier for cash, in my opinion. 3.5 points a minute, 96 when he wins. Uriah Hall, 37, almost 38 years old, 1 month from today. $7,000 does give you some salary relief. And if you want to be contrarian, Uriah Hall's ownership will probably be pretty low. So that is an interesting spot you could check out there. I personally like the Muniz side. I like him for cash. He is in my Wednesday night Pub Sports Radio lineup. And I'm not going to change that one this week. So I do like that spot. I just think 3 subs in a row, Hall never been subbed. Maybe this is the time. The only concern is maybe you'll go into this. Muniz's cardio. What do we think about that? If this goes past 7 minutes, am I dead in the water with a Muniz pick here?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. See, so that is scary. Maybe you do want to target him in GPPs then, because.
Well, I don't know what Hall like. I get this whole he's never been sub thing, but like, let's be honest. Like, when you look at the guys he's facing,
exactly what I was gonna say.
The grapplers that he's facing, you had the Weidman fight. Like, okay, like,
I mean, if he faced off against Shoeface, got hit with 3 takedowns and a ton of control time,
and he survived. But like, I gotta be honest. Like, honestly, Shoeface, which is like my favorite goddamn nickname in the history.
Oh, it's the best.
UFC. Top 3 nicknames are Dominique, nonstop action pack, T Steel, Willie Whoop-Ass Gates.
Yes.
And Shoeface.
Yes, we agree.
Willie Whoop-Ass Gates cost me a lot of money, by the way. I just didn't count on betting him anyway. So like I don't like Hall hasn't really faced a lot of grapplers, and like Shoeface kind of underperformed for me in the UFC. So I think this is one of the better grapplers he's faced. I think Muniz is like kind of on a career. He's on a nice little run right now.
Yep.
I don't think Hall posed the physical threats that like Anders did. Hall is definitely the better fighter, than Anders, no doubt. But I think Anders provided like a tougher physical challenge just to get him down and do what he did. And he did it with ease. I think he can get Hall down. I think the round 1 sub, I would say that's the play, but it's plus 175.
Yeah, they're I mean,
Like
obviously.
some books have it at plus 150. So look, take the sub prop. It's minus 120. Could Muniz win a decision? I mean, if he has a really good first 2 rounds and Hall can't put him away, I guess. But I think Muniz sub or he's dead. So, and I'll tell you what, if you like the Hall side, and I do not, Mongolian murder is confusing me because I'm like, is he a Mongolian dude who murders people or does he murder Mongolians? Like, so like, I don't know, man. Hot chocolate's a good one. Hot sauce is a good nickname.
Yeah, hot sauce, yeah.
But like Willie Whip-Ass is like my guy. So I'm just going to say this. If you like the Uriah,
yep.
I mean, I'm with you. But I'll tell you right now, if you're on the Hall side, he has decision equity here. And it's an outrageous price. It's on DraftKings, it's 10-1.
Plus 865.
It's 10-1 on DraftKings. It's 9-1 on BetMGM and FanDuel, I think. Oh, it might be 8 on FanDuel, but it's outrageous. Like, Hall has good decision equity because he's not like some people romanticize his explosiveness from like the content, like from Ultimate Fighter and stuff. Like, yeah, he knocked out Weidman. Like, congratulations. He knocked out Anderson Silva, but like, and that was in the 4th round. Like, it took him a while to get going. Like, I just don't think he's like, and a 3-round fight where I think he's going to fight off his back the whole 1st round. He has decision equity here to win the 2nd and 3rd. I may give that away as my Lambo pick, in fact. Like,
nice.
Because out of all the bets that are plus 300 or more,
that
just as not going to alert to chat. Look, man, the last 2 times we saw a fight doesn't go this big. We saw it last week with Curtis and Vieira, and Curtis won by decision. And we saw it with Pereira and Bruno Silva, and that went the distance. Like, every time we see one of these uber chalky lines, weird shit happens in these fights. So, like, could we start the 2nd? Hall just peppers him? Like, yeah. Like, could Muniz tire out and just go for like weird, like lazy takedowns? Yeah. So there's decision equity if you like Hall. I know people targeting the total under 2.5 minus 350. Can't bet that.
Nope.
If you like Muniz, take the sub prop. And if you like Hall, you could go decision equity, or you go round 3 decision if you want to have a little safety like net.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the Weidman. Like, I'm like, when's the last time you faced the grappler? Chris Weidman. But, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I knew I was an okay human being in that I waited 15 seconds after it happened to circle the bet on my slip. I was like I spent 15 seconds going like, oh my God, dude. And then I'm like, oh, I won.
Oh, next.
I didn't say I'm not saying I'm a good human being. I'm saying I'm not as bad as I thought. It's a relative. Look, maybe it got me a couple points to the big man upstairs. A, because I waited, and B, because he's like, good bet, dude. He was a dog. He was like plus 160.
That sounds like a win-win in my
I mean, I'm keeping score for bets, but the big man upstairs keeping score too on his Uncle Lou.
Got his own tally board there. Hey, I think you got 2 tallies on your side on that one. So good on you. Hopefully the last fight that we're going to spend any kind of time talking about, Jessica Evil Eye, Macy Barber. I'll just do this one. I don't like Jessica Eye. I'm not going to play her at all, ever. Macy Barber is the side here, 9,100. I like it for cash. Probably not going to be playing it in GPPs. Both these women score subpar, but Macy Barber well above Jessica Eye. Jessica Eye, if you didn't know, 5-9 in the UFC, lost her last 3 to Calvillo. Joanne Wood, she lost to Joanne Wood. She got smashed by Joanne Wood in the midst of Joanne Wood, basically losing a few fights. And then, was really close with Jennifer Maia. I don't even know how that's possible. I guess there's a path if Jessica Eye is going to clinch Barber and Barber just is going to stand there. And I just don't see how Jessica Eye wins this. Maybe you can elaborate for me, but I'm not going to have her in any lineups, and I'll have Macy Barber in some cash, but she's way too expensive. These lines are crazy. Barber almost minus 300. What are we doing here? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's the OnlyFans fade.
Thanks, Prince.
There's the OnlyFans fade for Jessica Eye, so there's that. It's unbettable to me as it is. Even Barber decision is like minus 120. It's unbettable. I don't think you have to bet this fight. So if you want to just have fun and go like super cheap, take a poke on Barber round 3 KO. She's got great cardio.
Okay.
I'm not getting to the window on this. I'm not betting this fight or the other one, but Barber's cardio is pretty good. Like, she's always looked good. Like I didn't think she beat Miranda Maverick, but she won the 3rd round. I mean, she was very energetic in the 3rd round. She's still improving. Jessica Eye, I know Jessica Eye doesn't really get finished a lot, but like, she hasn't looked impressive. So
exactly. Ever.
Mushroom only came in to make sure I'm still doing the Lambo show in a few hours. I'm still doing Lambo show in a few hours. So
there you go.
I'm passing on this completely. I mean, Barber's like an all right parlay piece, I guess. But I would rather there's other spots in this card. Like, there's going to be tons of violence on this card. There's tons of time props we gave out today. I'd rather just load up on time props and root for violence than get involved with this Barber fight.
100%.
And speaking of a fight I don't want to get involved in, there's another one coming up should I just say pass?
Yeah, you go ahead. Let's hear your coverage for this.
I just want to say this. I all I'm saying is this. You can't bet this fight. I think JRC wins. I think she could win literally all 15 minutes of this fight. I don't know that I can trust her. But I know this. I see people betting Stolia Stinko, as Paul Shag would say. And she's coming out to Sexy Boy by Shawn Michaels. What's his name? Brady tagged me, goes, Lou, what do we do with this?
You smash it.
and I'm like, max bet? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Stolyarenko has never won a fight outside of like a minute, ever. So if you're going to play a prop, I suppose you play her around 1 sub. It's plus 900. It's plus 1,200 on FanDuel for her winning condition. I mean, she's never shown she can win a fight outside of a minute. So if you feel the need to degen this fight, maybe that's the play. But honestly, JRC is just, everybody's, the striking's pretty equal, but it's not equal.
It's
JRC's
not
a better striker.
Yeah.
And she's better on the ground. Like the only thing she's not better at is armbar from guard.
Right.
But, like JRC is the pick. I'm not betting it. And I don't know how many beers I'm going to have by the time I get my first bet. I mean, if the first two fights are this and Macy, I'll be like, here's a good bet for you guys. Over 3.5 beers for me by my first bet, which will be at 8:00 Eastern, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
When does the card start? 6 or 7?
I think 6, but don't quote me on that.
6 who? 6 Eastern or
6? It'd have to be 5, 7, 9. So it'd have to be 6 Eastern, right?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Because I think it's 5.
Why am I asking you? I have it up, dude.
It's 6 Eastern because it's 3 hours or 2 hours for 3 fights.
So 7:00 p.m. Eastern, which is the only time zone that matters, Monk. 7 p.m. Eastern. I will have my first bet. Yeah, over 3.5, like minus 140 for how many drinks I'll have had at that point. That's solid.
That's not bad.
That's a solid parlay piece, guys. You could buy it up. You could buy it up if shots count. You could buy it to over 4.5.
Oh,
like we're gonna call it plus 140, 150. And that's, I mean, for you guys, I'll cash that bet.
That's pretty good.
I will cash that bet next week.
Yeah, I'm on you there. I don't like either side for DraftKings, but if I'm picking one, it's going to be JRC. Stolyarenko's 0-4 in the UFC. She scores 1.6 a minute, and I have absolutely zero faith in her. So, guys, that is going to do it. We covered all the fights. Special thank you to Zaid Hussein. We really appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time while you're having a blast in Las Vegas. Seriously, we thank you a ton, and hopefully we can get you on when life is less hectic and break down an entire card, because I think that would be a ton of fun. You can find me at MonkMMATics on Twitter. Please check out my game theory video and Salary Voodoo on the MMA Engine. And you can find me in an hour and 20 minutes over on the RotoWire channel, possibly the RotoWire MMA channel, with my guys Christopher and Joe at Sun Tzu, at Christopher Olsen, and we are going to be kicking it DFS style for 12 fights. So check that out. Lou, where can the people find you?
Well, also thanks to Jamal Hill for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Jamal Hill.
For
Appreciate
5
that.
seconds. That was awesome. He doesn't know he was on the show, but
he was.
But I'm counting it.
Yep.
So, well, Brady's about to get busy. He's 20 minutes. He's on for his best bets, and then you got it, Mushroom. I know this is what Mushroom's been waiting for. 10 o'clock, 10 Eastern tonight. Brady and I are the guests on the Lambo show with Tim Troiano and Narco Cop. If you guys haven't subscribed to Narco, let's get Narco over 1,000, dude. Guy buffs out great content. Pretty sure everybody here is probably following him. I'd be shocked if anybody here isn't familiar with him. But especially when Dana White Contender Series comes out, that dude won me bank last year because I didn't know shit about any of these fighters. But my biggest and most favorite bet of the year, of the entire year of 2021, was Javid.
I was
going
to say
rat. Javid Bashrat crushing that dude that called him a terrorist. Because I had him like money line. I had him in the distance. I had him round 3, and he won with like a minute left. I mean, it was like clean sweep. And then I was like, I don't care about the rest of my bets. Last thing I will say is tomorrow I am debuting a new show on this channel with Billy Briz. I don't know if you know Billy Briz from Fox Sports. Billy Briz is way more known than me. You guys probably know Billy Briz. We're going to be doing a show 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is the idea of the show. We're going to do like notable line movements. Basically, we're your betting primer. Doing notable live movements. We're going to give you our 4 or 5 best bets each. But more importantly, it's interactive. Like, we're there to answer any of your questions about the fight card. Y'all know my personality at this point. Ask me any goofy shit you want. But me and him are just going to have a good time, answering all the questions you want. Ask us about whatever, if it's card related, great, because that's the show. But if you guys just come up with weird ass questions, like ask a monk about his beard. I mean, don't ask me how I take care of my beard. I ain't got nothing. But that's what we're there for. So just gonna be a 1 hour show, last minute shit, our best bets. But hit us in chat with your plays. Tell us what you like or what you're leaning on, and get our opinions. Like, that's what we're here for. The show will be more about you guys than it will be about Billy and I. So I'm really excited to do this one. It's like, you know, Brady does his best bet show, and that's awesome to hear what these guys have as their best bets. I love it. But this is more about, like, what do you guys want to bet? Yep. Like, and let's talk it through, because shit, man, look, I've been gambling for 20 years, but I'm learning every day. And you guys might come and chat and be like, Lou, what do you think of this as an angle? And I'd be like, all right, like, you know, and like, maybe you're bringing up something I haven't looked at. And I'm like, so you guys might be helping me as much as we're helping
you.
So
exactly.
That's what we're here for. We're just here to, like, sound off and, like, hit us with what you want, man. So 2 p.m. tomorrow. We have no name for the show yet. I am just waiting on Eric to tell me what the name is and give me copy, and then, like, that's the name of the show.
Well, there you go.
And Eric is like our unofficial, like, department of naming shit at the company.
Agreed. And also, since we're mentioning new stuff, check it out on Sunday morning. This will be the first time it's live, right on the MMA Engine the morning after. I'm going to be hosting a show where we go over the DraftKings optimal lineups, see amongst picks and bets, and then whatever you guys want to talk about. You want to share your sob stories, you please come right ahead. You want to share your millionaire stories, you come right ahead in there. But we're going to be talking about, you know, maybe 30, 40 minutes or so, heavy chat, hopefully heavy chat interaction, just discussing what happened the night before. So watch the fights, and then if you're up, you know, drinking them mimosas or whatever you brunch people do, check out the morning after on the MMA Engine. And that's going to do it, guys. For Lou at Lou Betya, for myself at MonkMMATics, we really appreciate you spending Friday evening with us. And as usual, I want all of you to enjoy the fight. So enjoy, and we will see you next time.